Imagine gently dissolving the story of me you've carried for years. This moment holds the key to releasing that fixed sense of self. Feel the quiet ease of understanding non-self through practical Dharma wisdom. Share in the comments. What time is it right now? Where are you? And one identity label you're releasing today. Let this simple practice soften your grasp on the illusion. Let's explore this together as we move into understanding anatta simply. Welcome to this quiet moment of reflection. Let us gently explore a fundamental truth that can bring remarkable ease to your life. Today we speak of anatta, the Buddhist teaching often translated as non-self. It is not that you do not exist, but rather that there is no fixed, permanent you residing inside you like a hidden core. We often believe we are a solid statue, yet our experience is more like a flowing river. Thoughts arise and pass, moods shift, and our sense of identity changes with each moment. We mistake the constant movement for a fixed point, just as one might mistake the river's flowing water for a still statue. Imagine sitting by a river on a calm morning. The water moves swiftly, constantly changing its form, yet we see it as one continuous flow. We don't think the river is the same water at every single instant. Now, consider your own mind. When you are deeply happy, feeling light and expansive, does that you feel the same as when you're tired, heavy, and withdrawn? The thoughts, the feelings, the very sense of me shifts. There is no single, unchanging essence that remains the same through all these states. The self you experience when laughing with friends is different from the self you feel when weary after a long day. There is no permanent I sitting at the center of these changing experiences. This is not a confusing idea to be mastered, but a simple observation to be noticed. Try this right now, softly, without judgment. Notice the feeling of you in this very moment. Now, gently recall a time when you felt truly joyful, perhaps sharing good news. How did that feeling of you feel different? Now, think of a time you were exhausted, perhaps after a difficult task. How does that sense of you feel? See how the boundaries shift, how the quality of self changes with the circumstance. There is no single, unchanging you that is always present. It is all a flow, a continuous process of experience. The idea of a fixed, permanent self is a comforting story we tell ourselves, but it is not how things actually are. This understanding doesn't diminish you. It frees you from the tight grip of trying to hold on to a fixed identity that simply isn't there. The monk pouring tea sees the water flow through the cup, not as a solid thing, but as the natural movement of water. He does not grasp the water as a separate, permanent substance inside the cup. He simply observes it as it is. This is the gentle invitation of non-self, to notice the flow of your own experience without trying to pin it down to a single, unchanging point. To soften the grasp of me and mine by simply seeing how everything changes. When you notice your sense of self shifting with your mood, you are already touching the truth of non-self. You are seeing the river, not the statue. This simple awareness dissolves the illusion of a separate, permanent self that causes so much unnecessary struggle. Now, let's see how this plays out in your everyday interactions. As you settle into your space today, notice the quiet understanding that arises when you simply observe without grasping. This is the gentle space where the concept of non-self becomes not a distant teaching, but the very ground of your experience. In the flow of daily life, we often imagine a fixed me meeting a fixed you in every interaction. But what if it's simply energy flowing between us, like ripples on a pond where the water is never still? The barista who serves you coffee with a calm smile, the colleague who offers help at work, the friend whose words bring you ease, these moments are not transactions between separate selves. They are a continuous, fluid exchange, shaped by the moment itself. You might notice this shift right now. At work, you feel steady, focused, perhaps even patient. But at home, after a long day, the same situation might stir frustration, a tightness in your chest. The you that feels calm at work isn't the same you that feels impatient at home. There is no fixed identity behind these reactions. They arise and pass like weather moving through a landscape. This isn't about being inconsistent. It's about recognizing that the self we cling to is a temporary gathering of thoughts, feelings, and circumstances. When you see this, the pressure to be always the same begins to soften. Try this simple practice in your next conversation. Let it be with a partner, a neighbor, or even a stranger. As you speak, notice the urge to label yourself, I am calm, I am distracted, I am the problem. Gently set that aside. Instead, observe the interaction as it is, the sound of the voice, the warmth in the steam of your cup, the way your breath moves as you listen. Notice how your response flows from the moment, not from a fixed idea of who you are. If your mind says, I am not listening, simply note the thought without adding to it. The thought is just a thought, not a truth about you. There is no I that needs to be fixed or improved in that instant. You are simply present as the conversation unfolds. This quiet observation reveals something profound. When we hold on to the idea of a solid, unchanging self, I must be right, I must be calm, I must be liked, we create a barrier between ourselves and life as it truly is. We resist the natural flow of things, grasping at what we think we should be, and that grasping is the source of suffering. It's why a small disagreement can feel like a personal attack, or why a moment of peace can vanish when we fear it might not last. We are not the rock that resists the river. We are the river itself, naturally moving, changing, and flowing. So as you notice this in your next ordinary moment, let go of the need to define yourself. Let the conversation be a dance, not a performance. Let the reactions arise and pass without claiming them as your permanent truth. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about seeing clearly that the someone we've been trying to hold on to has never been there to begin with. It's the soft release of a hand that was never holding anything tight. This reveals why holding on to identity causes suffering. Let's release it. Have you ever noticed how easily we wrap ourselves in labels? We say, I am a failure, or I'm shy, or I am the provider, as if these words were carved into our bones. These labels feel solid, real, and deeply personal. But what if they were merely passing clouds in the vast sky of your awareness? Today, let us gently explore how holding on to these fixed identities creates unnecessary weight, like clutching a lifeboat in perfectly calm water. You don't need it when the sea is still. The moment life shifts, when a project succeeds, a relationship changes, or a new challenge arises, the label suddenly feels like a cage. This tight grip is the root of suffering. It creates a barrier between who you believe you are and the ever-changing reality of this very moment. Consider the river. We might call it fast or deep, but the river itself is simply flowing. The labels are our mind's way of trying to hold the water still, to pin it down. But the river doesn't care about our labels. It just flows, responding to the landscape, the rain, the sun. Similarly, your experience is a river, constant, fluid, and responding to life's currents. That label you carry, I am a failure, is not the river. It's a label you placed on a particular drop of water at a specific bend in the stream. Now, look at that drop. Is it still there? Is it still a failure right now, in this breath, as you sit here, breathing? The moment you ask this, the label begins to soften. Try this simple practice. Take a moment to write down one identity label you hold close. Not a fact like I'm human, but a story you tell yourself, I am unlovable, I'm too loud, I am stuck. Write it plainly on a piece of paper. Now, hold it gently. Ask yourself, is this true in this moment? Feel the space between the words on the page and your actual experience. Are you feeling like a failure right now? Or are you simply breathing, hearing the sound of the wind, feeling the chair beneath you? The label was never the reality. It was a mental construct, a map we drew on the ever-shifting terrain of our lives. Holding it tight makes us miss the actual landscape, the warmth of the sun, the sound of birds, the quiet strength of your own presence. When you notice the label, pause, breathe, see it as a passing thought, not a truth about your core being. You are not the label. You are the awareness that notices the label. This is not about becoming someone else. It's about releasing the tight grip on a story that no longer serves you, that no longer fits the river. Let go of the need to define yourself in a way that resists the natural flow of life. This release isn't a struggle. It's a gentle unwinding, like a knot loosening in your own hands. It happens when you stop fighting the river and simply flow with it. As we release these fixed labels, we step into a deeper knowing. We begin to see thoughts not as commands from a fixed me, but as weather passing through the sky of awareness. We observe them without claiming ownership, without needing to be right or wrong. This is the freedom of non-self, realizing that you are not the label, but the spaciousness in which all labels arise and fade. This spaciousness is always here, waiting to be noticed, just beneath the surface of the story. It is in this noticing, without grasping, that we find the ease of being fully present, exactly as we are in this moment. The next step is to see how this awareness transforms even the simplest acts of living, as we observe thoughts without claiming them as our own. Feel the quiet space between your breaths, the soft pause as you inhale and exhale. This space isn't empty in the way a room is empty, it's full of possibility. Like the sky holding clouds without clinging to them. Today, we gently explore this natural openness, this very essence of emptiness known as shunyata. It means there is no fixed, independent self waiting inside your body or mind, no permanent me to hold on to. Just as the sky doesn't own the clouds that drift through it, your awareness isn't owned by any thought or feeling that arises. The sense of a solid, separate self is simply a passing cloud in the vast sky of experience. Imagine sitting quietly, not trying to stop your thoughts, but simply watching them appear. A thought about work, a memory, a worry, there it is, clear and vivid. Notice how it arrives, how it lingers for a moment, and then fades, like a cloud dissolving into the blue. Now, here's the gentle insight in that moment of watching. Where is the thinker who is watching? Is there a separate me sitting there observing the thought? Or is it simply awareness itself, noticing the thought arise and pass, without needing a controller behind it? There is no thinker behind the thinking. The thought appears within awareness, and awareness flows, just as the cloud appears within the sky. The illusion of a solid me dissolving is not a struggle. It's the natural release when you stop grasping at the idea of a separate self. This realization isn't complex. It's simply noticing how things actually are. Try this now. As you listen, take one slow breath in, feeling the cool air enter. Feel the gentle expansion in your chest. Now, as you breathe out, let your awareness rest softly on the sensation of the breath itself. Notice any thought that comes, perhaps a sound outside, a feeling of calm. Simply see it arise, see it hold its shape for a moment, and see it soften and fade away, like a leaf floating on a still pond. Don't chase it, don't judge it, don't even say this is a thought. Just watch it pass through the open space of your awareness. Feel how the thought doesn't need a me to hold it, and how the awareness itself is always there, quiet and spacious, even as thoughts come and go. This spacious awareness is not separate from your breathing, your thoughts, your very presence. It is the natural state, free from the burden of a fixed identity. In every single breath, the illusion of a solid me dissolves, revealing the effortless flow of experience itself. There is no need to become something else. You are already the open sky where all phenomena arise and pass without resistance. The suffering of clinging to a fixed identity melts away not through force, but through this simple, natural noticing. The gentle release is already happening, right here, right now, as you breathe. Now, let's turn inward to observe your thoughts without an owner. Feel the gentle rhythm of your breath, soft and steady as a quiet river flowing through still water. Let your awareness settle, not chasing anything, not holding on to anything, simply being present with what is. Now, notice the thoughts that arise in this spacious space, thoughts about the day, memories, plans, worries. Observe them not as something you possess, but as natural events appearing within the vast sky of your awareness. See how they drift through, like clouds passing across a clear, open sky. There is no separate thinker behind them, no fixed I holding on to the thought. Instead, simply notice the shift. Not I have a thought, but a thought arises. This subtle shift dissolves the illusion of ownership. The thought appears, and awareness witnesses it, without needing to claim it or push it away. It is simply there, like a leaf floating on the river's surface, neither belonging to the river nor separate from it. Imagine a simple moment. You hear a bird sing outside. The thought, I like that song, might arise. But instead, notice a thought about a bird's song arises. Feel the difference. The thought appears, and there is just awareness, spacious and uncluttered, holding it gently. It is not my thought that comes and goes. It is thought itself, a natural process within the field of knowing. This is the essence of non-self in action. Thoughts are like clouds passing through awareness. No one owns them. No one created them. No one must hold on to them. They simply arise, stay for a moment, and pass, leaving the sky untouched. When a thought appears, gently whisper to yourself, "This is a thought, not me." Say it softly, as if sharing a quiet secret with the sky itself, not as a correction, but as a gentle reminder. Do not judge the thought. Do not try to stop it. Simply acknowledge its presence with kindness, knowing it is not the core of who you are. This practice releases the tight grip of I that creates suffering. It dissolves the mental labels we cling to, the fixed identities that cause us to struggle with what is simply happening. The suffering arises when we believe this thought is me or this feeling defines me. But when we see thoughts as passing clouds, the mind naturally relaxes into its true nature, open, clear, and free. As you practice this, notice how the space between you and your thoughts widens. You are not the thought, not the emotion, not the label. You are the spacious awareness in which they appear and fade, like ripples on water that do not disturb the deep stillness beneath. This is the quiet wisdom of non-self. Thoughts arise without a thinker. Emotions flow without a sufferer. The very act of witnessing without ownership dissolves the illusion of a separate, fixed self. You are not the owner of your mind. You are the mind's natural, effortless witness. This gentle practice, this soft shift in perspective, naturally leads us to the next step, observing emotions not as mine but as natural movements within the same spacious awareness. As we practice with thoughts, we discover the same spaciousness when emotions arise: anger, joy, sadness, each one a passing cloud in the boundless sky of your being. This is the path of deep peace, where the question, who is experiencing this, dissolves into the simple, clear, knowing that simply is. Imagine sitting quietly as a wave of irritation rises within you, sharp and insistent. You might instantly think, "I am angry," as if this feeling belongs to a solid, separate self that has been invaded. But what if we gently pause and ask, not with the mind seeking an answer, but with the quiet awareness of the moment, is it truly, "I am angry," or is it simply that anger is present, moving through the space of awareness like a cloud passing through the sky? Emotion, whether joy, sorrow, or anger, are not your core identity. They are temporary states, arising and dissolving like weather patterns in the vast sky of your being. They come and go, but the awareness that holds them remains constant, spacious, and untouched by their passing. This is not about suppressing the feeling or denying its presence. It is about recognizing that the feeling itself is the only thing that is real in that moment, not the story of I who supposedly owns it. Try this now. As you feel any strong emotion, soften your focus inward and softly ask, "Who is feeling this?" Do not search for an answer in the mind. Instead, simply notice where the feeling arises and where the question itself is held. Is it the thought "I'm angry" that feels sharp? Or is there a deeper awareness that simply holds the sensation of anger without needing to claim it as mine? The thought may say "I," but the awareness, the silent space where the feeling exists, has no owner. It simply is. This questioning dissolves the illusion that a fixed, separate I is the center of the emotional storm. You might find that the sharpness of "I am angry" softens into a gentle recognition. Anger is present. The emotion remains. But the suffering caused by identifying with it, by believing "this is me, this is happening to me," begins to melt away. It is not that the emotion vanishes, it is that you no longer feel trapped within it as a separate entity. You are not the anger. You are the awareness in which anger appears, just as the sky is not the cloud that passes through it. This simple shift transforms the experience. Instead of being swept away by the current of emotion, you find yourself resting in a quiet space where the emotion can simply be, without the added weight of "I." The feeling may still be strong, but the sense of being a victim of it, of a fixed me who suffers, dissolves. It becomes clear that the self we cling to is not a solid point, but a changing flow, like the river that carries each moment without holding on to any single drop. The awareness remains, steady and calm, while the emotional weather changes. This is not a theory. It is the direct experience that arises when we stop naming the feeling "mine" and instead witness it as a natural occurrence within the boundless field of awareness. The question "who is feeling this?" becomes a gentle key, unlocking the door to this spacious truth. It reveals that the very thing we thought was the center of our experience, the I, is itself a temporary arising, as fleeting as the emotion itself. Now, let's turn inward to observe your thoughts without an owner. Imagine your sense of self not as a stone holding firm against the current, but as a gentle river flowing through the landscape of your days. This is the heart of seeing the self as changing flow. Notice how the thoughts that shaped your morning, perhaps a worry about work or a quiet joy over coffee, shift and fade as the afternoon unfolds. A sudden frustration might arise during a conversation, only to dissolve as you step outside and feel the sun. Your feelings, your actions, they ripple and change like the water itself, never fixed, never separate from the stream of experience. There is no unchanging core within this flow, only the constant movement of awareness holding all that arises. This is the wisdom deepened by the ancient Zen story of a monk who sat by a river, watching the water pass. When asked if he saw his own reflection, he replied, "I see the river, but not a fixed image." He did not cling to the fleeting shapes of the water, nor did he deny the river's presence. He simply witnessed its ever-changing nature. In the same way, we do not deny the presence of thoughts or feelings, but we see them as the river's currents, not as the river itself. The question, "Who am I?" dissolves when we notice how the eye shifts with every moment. Now patient, now restless, now open, now closed. The sense of a permanent self is an illusion, like mist that appears solid but vanishes in the sunlight. To practice this, sit quietly for a few moments. Notice the subtle shifts within you. What was a thought of gratitude an hour ago may now be replaced by a quiet curiosity about the light outside. Feel how your posture changes, how your breathing deepens or quickens without a separate you directing it. If you have a mirror nearby, gently look into your own eyes. Do you see a fixed, unchanging face? Or do you see the softening of a smile, the shifting focus in the eyes, the fleeting expression that belongs to this very moment? This is not about becoming someone new, but about seeing the truth of what is, a continuous flow of experience, without a separate owner. As you observe this changing nature, you may feel a quiet warmth arise. It is the warmth of simply being present, without the need to hold anything steady. The river flows, and you are the river, not the stone. There is no me to protect, no mine to cling to. The thoughts that arise are not mine, nor is the feeling of peace that follows. They are all part of the same flowing current. This is not a loss, but a liberation, the relief of not having to carry a heavy, fixed identity. You are free to be as you are, moment by moment, without resistance. In this gentle witnessing, the breath becomes the perfect anchor. It is the most natural rhythm of the river itself, rising and falling without judgment. As you breathe softly, notice how the thoughts and feelings still come and go, but the awareness holding them remains steady and unshaped. The river flows, yet the water is always part of the whole. The ego, that small, separate rock we thought was real, begins to soften and dissolve in the flow of this mindful presence. And so, with each breath, the path unfolds, not toward a fixed self, but toward the simple, clear truth of being here, now, as the river. As we sit with the awareness from the previous chapter, where we witnessed emotions as temporary currents within the vast river of awareness, we now turn to the simplest, most immediate anchor, the breath. In this moment, let the breath be your teacher. Feel the cool air entering your nostrils, the gentle rise of your abdomen, the warm release as you exhale. Notice how the breath simply happens without any separate me initiating it or controlling it. There is no doer behind the inhale, no thinker behind the exhale. The breath flows, and awareness simply observes it, like a still pond reflecting the sky without needing to claim the reflection as its own. This is the practice of mindful breathing, dissolving the ego not through force, but through gentle, present attention. Imagine a person sitting quietly on a cushion, eyes softly closed. Their mind begins to wander with a thought about yesterday's meeting. They notice the thought, but instead of grasping it or pushing it away, they gently return to the sensation of breath. The thought fades, leaving a quiet space. In that space, between the thought and the next, there is no I thinking, no I feeling, only the breath and the spacious awareness holding it. This is not a concept, it is a direct experience. The breath is not mine to own, nor is the awareness a separate me observing it. The very idea of a solid, separate self dissolves in the simplicity of this present moment. You're not breathing, the breath is breathing. Awareness is simply being aware, without a center claiming ownership. This practice reveals the emptiness of the ego in the present moment. The ego is not a thing that exists. It is a story we tell ourselves, a temporary gathering of thoughts and sensations. When you focus solely on the breath without the me doing it, you step out of that story. You see that the I is just another passing thought, like the thought about yesterday's meeting. There is no fixed point to cling to, no core identity to protect. The river of presence flows freely, unburdened by the illusion of a separate self. This is not about becoming something new, it is about recognizing the truth of what already is, the natural openness of mind, free from the weight of me. So, take this moment. Sit softly, feel the breath enter, feel it leave. Do not try to hold on to the sensation or make it yours. Simply notice the inhale, the exhale, the quiet space between them. In that space, let go of the need to say, I am breathing. Let the breath breathe itself, and let awareness be as it is, without a separate self to claim it. This simple act, repeated again and again, is not a technique to build something, but a way to see clearly that the ego was never there to begin with. It is the quiet revelation of non-self, right here, right now. With this clarity, we can release attachment to me entirely. Imagine the quiet moment before you reach for your morning coffee. Your hand moves without thought, yet in that simple gesture, notice the subtle tug of my cup, my routine, my right to this small comfort. This is the gentle, persistent thread of me woven through ordinary moments. A thread we often hold so tightly it becomes invisible. Attachment to my opinions, my body, my life story creates suffering not because these things are inherently painful, but because we resist life's natural flow. We cling to the idea of a fixed me navigating an ever-changing world, like trying to hold water in cupped hands. This resistance creates friction, a constant low hum of tension beneath the surface of daily life. The wisdom of non-self reveals that the me we grasp so fiercely is not a solid entity, but a shifting river of sensation, thought, and experience. It is the feeling of warmth in your hand as you hold the cup. The thought, "This is mine." The memory of yesterday's conversation, all flowing together without a separate, permanent owner. When you notice the word "my" arising in your mind, perhaps as you react to a comment, judge your body in the mirror, or replay a past event, pause. Let the breath soften your next inhale. Then gently ask, "Is this truly mine? Or just a thought?" Not as an intellectual puzzle, but as a soft inquiry into the nature of what you're holding on to. Consider this simple moment. You are walking, and someone bumps your shoulder. Instantly, the thought "my space" arises, followed by a flicker of irritation. You might think, "My body was here. My peace was disturbed." Instead of immediately reacting or judging yourself for feeling irritated, pause. Feel the breath in your lungs. Notice the tightness in your shoulders. Ask softly, "Is this my space truly separate? Or is it just the current of the moment? Is this irritation truly mine? Or is it simply a thought arising, like a leaf floating on the river?" In that pause, you step outside the illusion of a separate me holding onto the river. You see the irritation as a passing cloud, not a permanent feature of your identity. The space between the bump and the reaction becomes a place of freedom. This is the practice we return to again and again, not as a grand effort, but as a gentle return to presence. When "my" arises, whether it's my idea, my mistake, my life, let the question be your anchor. It doesn't dismiss your experience, it simply reveals its impermanent nature. You are not the thought "my life is perfect." You are the awareness noticing that thought. You are not the body that feels tired. You are the quiet space holding the awareness of tiredness. This gentle questioning dissolves the solid wall of me we build around every experience. Notice how often you hold on to "my" like a precious stone, only to find it is a shifting pattern of light on water. The suffering comes not from the experience itself, but from the relentless "this is mine" that resists what is. By pausing at the arising of "my," you release the burden of claiming ownership over the flow. You see that your life story, your body, your opinions are part of the vast, interconnected river of life, not a separate island you must defend. This simple practice, repeated in countless small moments, gradually loosens the tight grip of the ego. It softens the harshness of self-judgment, because when you see "my" as a thought, not a fact, there is no longer a fixed me to judge or defend. You simply are, present, without the heavy weight of ownership. This releases the burden of self-judgment we carry daily. Consider the quiet weight you carry when you say to yourself, "I am failing" or "I am unworthy." That heavy stone in your chest isn't reality. It's a story you've woven, a fixed identity you've clung to. This inner critic, this relentless judge, is not seeing you as you truly are in this moment. It's clinging to a picture of who you think you should be, who you believe you are. And that picture is flawed and rigid. When you judge yourself, you are not looking at the present flow of life. You are looking at a mental image, a story built on past mistakes or imagined future failures. The truth is simpler, more spacious, and far less painful. It is simply this: you are experiencing judgment right now. Not "I am bad," but "I am experiencing judgment right now." This small shift is not about denying the feeling, it is about seeing it clearly as a passing mental event, not the truth of who you are. Imagine sitting quietly, making tea. You stir the leaves gently, watching the water turn amber. Then, a thought arises: I should be more patient with myself. Instantly, a wave of self-criticism follows. You're always so impatient. You never get anything right. The judgment feels real, heavy, like a physical weight. But what if, in that very moment, you simply notice the thought without adding the story? Instead of "I am impatient," you feel the sensation of the judgment in your chest and gently say to yourself, I'm experiencing judgment right now. The weight doesn't vanish, but the story changes. The tightness doesn't vanish, but the story of "I am bad" dissolves. The judgment is still there, but it's no longer the lens through which you see yourself. It becomes an object of awareness, like steam rising from the tea, not the steam itself. You are not the steam, you are the stillness observing the steam. The tea continues to brew, the water continues to flow, and you are simply present with the experience, without the added burden of the me who is judged. This is not about becoming perfect. It is about releasing the struggle with the imperfect me you imagine. It is about seeing that the judgment is a temporary cloud passing through the clear sky of your awareness. Try this now, in this moment. Notice the next time you catch yourself saying "I am." Pause. Feel the thought. Then gently reframe it. "I am experiencing the thought that I am." Or, "I'm experiencing judgment right now." Let the words soften. Let the story loosen its grip. This practice, done again and again in the small moments, is the gentle release of the fixed identity that causes suffering. It is not about denying your feelings or pretending everything is fine. It is about seeing clearly what is happening without adding the heavy layer of "I am this flawed thing." You are not the judgment. You are the awareness that notices the judgment. The me you thought you were judging is a concept, a story you've told yourself. In reality, there is only the unfolding moment and the noticing presence within it. The freedom is found not in becoming someone else, but in seeing through the illusion of the fixed self that is being judged. This quiet practice of noticing the judgment, without becoming it, dissolves the tightness of self-judgment. It reveals the spaciousness where you already are, free from the burden of your own story. When this gentle shift becomes natural, you will find yourself not needing to hold on to any identity label at all. The next step is to let go of the very idea of who I am that you've been trying to fix or protect. Letting go of identity labels is the natural, deepening release that follows this quiet release of self-judgment. You might hear yourself say it without thinking. A quiet whisper in your own mind. I am an introvert. Or perhaps I am a success after a promotion. Or I'm failing when things don't go as planned. These labels feel so real, so essential to who we are. But what if they were simply useful tools for navigating the world, not the very fabric of your being? This is the gentle truth of non-self. Identity labels are maps, not the territory they describe. They help us communicate, but clinging to them as our true essence traps us within a rigid, static box, blocking the beautiful, ever-changing flow of life itself. When we say, I am this, we close the door on the possibility of being something else, of experiencing the moment without the filter of a fixed identity. We miss the rain, the laughter, the unexpected kindness, all because we are busy being the quiet one, or the achiever, or the one who struggles. The fluidity of being, of simply being present with what is, becomes obscured by the weight of the label we carry. Imagine walking into a coffee shop. You might notice the urge to sit alone, the thought forming, I'm an introvert, so I should be here alone. You feel the familiar comfort of the label. But what if, for just a moment, you gently notice the thought without letting it define you? You see the thought, I am an introvert, as just that. A thought, a label you use, not a fact written on your soul. You might look up, smile at the barista, and find yourself chatting about the weather. A simple connection that wasn't possible if you were locked inside the box of introvert. The label was useful for a moment, but it wasn't you. It was merely a passing idea, like a cloud drifting across the sky. Life flows through you, not because of a label, but in spite of it. This is the practice we invite you to try for one day. Simply notice when you use an identity label, whether it's I'm stressed, I'm a good parent, I am not good enough, or I am a creative person. Notice the words forming in your mind, the way they shape your experience. Then, with the same gentle care you might offer a friend, simply let the label go. Don't argue with it. Don't try to become something else. Just notice it, like a bird flying overhead, and let it drift away. You don't need the label to be seen, to be understood, to be okay. You are simply being here, now, breathing, experience. The label was a helpful tool for a moment, but it was never your essence. Letting it go isn't losing yourself, it's finally meeting yourself without the filter. Notice how this simple act of releasing the label softens the edges of your experience. The world feels less like a series of fixed roles to perform and more like a living, breathing, ever-changing stream. The pressure to fit the label lifts, and in that space, there is room for the unexpected, for the quiet joy of a shared silence, for the simple act of being without needing to be defined. You begin to see that the me you cling to is not a solid thing, but a river, constantly moving, constantly changing, never fixed. This practice of noticing and releasing identity labels isn't about becoming someone new, it's about discovering the vast, open space of being that existed before the labels ever appeared. As we practice releasing these labels, we find ourselves moving toward the dissolution of the self-concept itself, where the boundaries between me and not me begin to soften, revealing the boundless, interconnected nature of all that is. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast desert under a blazing sun. You see a shimmering pool of water ahead, a mirage promising relief. You walk toward it, but the water recedes, always just out of reach. The mirage feels real until you step closer, and it dissolves into the hot, dry air. This is the nature of the self-concept we carry within. It feels solid, real, like a constant companion named me, yet it is no more substantial than the desert's illusion. It is a mental construct, a useful tool for navigating life, but not the truth of who we are. It is the river we see as a single, fixed thing, when in reality it is always flowing, never the same moment to moment. Dissolving this concept means gently letting go of the tight grip of me and what it demands. It is not about erasing yourself into nothingness. Instead, it is the profound freedom of stepping out of the cage of your own story. When the me is no longer the central, demanding voice, the weight of constant self-evaluation lifts. You no longer need to defend your position, justify your actions, or fear the judgment of the imagined me. The tightness in your chest softens. The pressure to be a certain way, to achieve a certain outcome for me, simply falls away. You find yourself simply being here, in this moment, fully present with what is, without the filter of a separate, fixed identity. This is not a sudden transformation, but a quiet unfolding. It happens in the small moments. Notice the next time you feel frustration, and the thought arises, I am being ignored. Instead of tightening into the I, pause. Feel the sensation of the frustration in your body. Observe the situation without adding the label me. Is there a feeling, a need, a circumstance, or simply the movement of life happening? The me dissolves in that simple pause. You are no longer the one being ignored. You are the awareness that notices the feeling, the circumstance, the movement. The river flows, and you are part of the flow. not separate from it. This freedom is not passive. It is a vibrant, clear-eyed presence. You engage with the world with less fear and less need to control outcomes for the sake of the me. You see a colleague make a mistake not as a reflection on your own worth, but as a simple human moment. You receive feedback not as a personal attack, but as information about the situation. The constant internal dialogue of "I must be this" or "I must avoid that" quiets. In its place, there is space to simply see, to respond with kindness, to be fully where you are, without the burden of the story you've been telling yourself. This is the gentle liberation the Buddha pointed to. It is not about becoming less, but about realizing you were never confined to that limited me in the first place. You are the spacious awareness within which thoughts, feelings, and the experience of self arise and pass, like clouds in the sky. The mirage of the separate self vanishes when you look directly at it with clear eyes, revealing the vast, open sky of being itself. Now, as this freedom from the self-concept takes root within you, we will see how it transforms the very fabric of our relationships. Without the ego's demands and defenses, connection becomes authentic, deep, and free. Consider the next time you speak with a friend, a partner, or even a stranger. You might think of it as me sharing thoughts with you, as if two separate islands touching briefly. But what if there is no such island at all? What if the meeting is not between two fixed selves, but rather a flow of energy, a moment of shared breath, a ripple in the same vast, interconnected river? This is the gentle truth we explore now. In the space where we release the illusion of a separate, permanent me, meeting a separate you, a deeper reality emerges. The tightness of identity, the constant need to define and defend the boundary between us, begins to soften. When that boundary dissolves, what remains is not emptiness, but a profound sense of connection. You see the other not as a separate object to be judged or understood, but as part of the very fabric of your shared experience. This is where true compassion naturally arises, not as a grand gesture, but as the simple, warm awareness of being in the same field of being. It is presence without the burden of self-importance. Imagine a simple scene. An old teacher and a young student sit quietly together in a garden. The student feels nervous, seeking approval. The teacher, without a word, places a cup of tea before them. The student notices the steam, the warmth of the cup, the quiet hum of bees in the blossoms. They look up, meeting the teacher's calm eyes, and in that instant, there is no student needing to prove themselves, no teacher needing to instruct. There is only the shared space of the garden, the warmth of the tea, the quiet understanding passing between them like sunlight. The teacher's presence is not a separate entity imposing on the student, It is the natural expression of the connection itself. The student's nervousness dissolves not because it is fixed, but because the sense of a separate self holding on to it fades. They are simply present within the whole, feeling the warmth, the silence, the shared breath. This is the practice we invite you to carry into your next ordinary moment. The next time you greet a loved one or exchange words with a colleague, before you think about what you will say or how they might react, pause. Feel the space between you. Notice the shared air you breathe, the common ground of being alive in this moment. Let go of the mental labels, I am this and you are that. Instead, feel the connection. Feel the energy of the interaction itself, the unspoken flow of care or curiosity. See the other not as a separate puzzle to solve, but as a reflection of the same interconnected life you share. This isn't about losing yourself, it's about discovering how deeply you are already part of something far larger. A living web of relationship. In that discovery, tension falls away, and compassion flows as naturally as water finds its level. When we stop seeing relationships as transactions between separate selves and begin to feel the living current of connection, we step beyond the small confines of ego. We discover that the boundaries we so carefully guarded were never real. This awareness, this deepening of connection in relationships, is not an end point. It is the natural unfolding, the quiet revelation that this interconnectedness is not confined to human bonds. It is the very nature of existence itself, flowing through every interaction, every moment of being. It reveals the profound truth that all life is one vast, breathing, interconnected whole. This is the gentle, undeniable wisdom that leads us beyond the veil of separation. In the quiet space between breaths, notice how the illusion of a separate self begins to soften. You are not a solitary island, but woven into a vast, living web where every thread touches another. This is the heart of seeing interconnectedness now, not as a distant philosophy, but as the very air you breathe. When you lift your cup of tea, the warmth travels from the earth's minerals in the clay, through the hands of the potter, the farmer who grew the leaves, and the rain that nourished them. Your simple act of drinking ripples through that unseen network, just as the ripples of a stone dropped in a pond reach the shore. This is not metaphor, it is the fabric of reality. Your thoughts, your kindness, even your quiet sigh, stir the currents around you, connecting you to the wind, the soil, the person sitting beside you. Imagine sharing tea with a friend on a bench. As you pour, notice how your hands move, the steam rising, the shared silence that holds space. In that moment, you are not two separate beings interacting. You are both part of the same unfolding presence, the earth supporting the bench, the air carrying the scent of the tea, the sun warming both your faces. Your friend's gentle smile isn't just for you, it's a ripple from their own quiet moments. a reflection of the kindness they received earlier. Your own smile in return becomes part of that current, flowing outward. This is the natural flow of non-self. No one is acting upon the other, only participating in a shared moment. There is no me and you here, only the warmth of presence, the shared breath, the unbroken circle. Now, feel this in your own body. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes if it helps. Notice the air moving through your lungs, cool, then warm, a constant flow connecting you to the vast atmosphere. Feel the solid earth beneath you, holding you with quiet strength. Listen to the distant hum of life, the birds, the wind, the quiet breath of the person beside you. In this instant, you are not apart from them. You are part of the same breath, the same rhythm, the same unbroken field of awareness. Your body, the chair, the trees outside, the people walking by, they are not separate from you. They are the very ground you stand on. This is not a feeling you create. It is the truth you remember when the noise of separation fades. Practice this now, not as a task, but as an opening. Let your awareness gently rest on the air filling your lungs. Feel the earth supporting your weight. Sense the quiet hum of connection around you, the shared space, the unspoken understanding. When you look at the person next to you, see not a separate self, but a reflection of the same interwoven life. Your kindness, your patience, your simply being present becomes a thread in this web, strengthening it without effort. There is no need to fix anything here, only to notice how everything is already whole. This understanding becomes especially vital when the world feels heavy, when relationships strain or pain arises. In those moments, the illusion of separation tightens like a fist. But remembering this web, feeling the earth beneath you, the air in your lungs, the shared breath with another, softens the edges. It reminds you that you are never truly alone, never isolated in your struggle. The pain you feel is felt by the whole, and the compassion you offer flows back to you as part of the same current. This is the quiet power of seeing interconnectedness now. It transforms the weight of separation into the lightness of belonging. When hardship strikes, the ego instinctively whispers, "This is happening to me." A sudden loss, a harsh word, a moment of deep isolation. These feel like personal attacks, wounds carved into the separate self we cling to. The suffering intensifies because we see the event as a violation of our individual territory, a confirmation of our fragility. We tighten, withdraw, and feel utterly alone in the storm. Yet, the wisdom of non-self invites us to gently step back from this tight grip on me. It asks us to see the difficulty not as a personal assault, but as a moment within the vast, shared current of human experience. The pain you feel is not unique to you, it is the pain felt by countless others across time and place. The shared breath of struggle that connects us all. It is life itself in its messy, challenging, and ever-changing flow, expressing itself through you and through everyone else. Consider the story of the old Zen monk. One rainy morning, he carried a bowl of steaming tea towards his student. As he walked, his foot caught on a loose stone. The bowl flew from his hands, shattering on the wet stone path, the hot tea spreading like a dark stain. His student rushed over, eyes wide with concern, expecting the monk to show distress. Instead, the monk stood quietly, watching the tea soak into the earth. He turned to his student and said simply, "The bowl broke. The tea spilled. Life continues. There was no me who failed, no my bowl that was broken." The event was simply an occurrence within the unfolding of things, not a reflection of his worth or a personal defeat. The monk saw the breaking not as an attack on his separate self, but as the natural, shared reality of impermanence touching all. His calm was not indifference. It was the deep recognition that the suffering of the moment belonged to the human condition, not to a separate me being harmed. This is the shift we practice. When stress rises, when a situation feels deeply personal and unfair, pause. Take one slow breath. Then ask softly, is this about me or about life? Let the question sink in. Is the tightness in your chest born from a belief that I am being targeted? Or is it simply the natural friction of existence? The way life flows and sometimes stumbles? When you ask, is this about me? The ego's grip loosens. The question itself becomes a gentle release. You begin to see the difficulty as part of the shared human journey, a common thread woven through the fabric of all existence. You feel less like a victim on a lonely island and more like a single wave in the vast, interconnected ocean of life, belonging to the whole. The suffering doesn't vanish, but its isolating edge softens. You are not alone in this moment of difficulty. You are part of the collective breath of humanity that has faced hardship for countless generations. This question becomes the doorway to the deeper practice. It dissolves the illusion of the separate self that craves safety from life's natural flow. It allows us to experience, in the very heart of difficulty, the profound truth of our interconnectedness. We are not separate entities suffering alone. We are the very expression of life experiencing itself, moment by moment, through the shared vulnerability of all beings. This is the gentle, radical truth we hold in the midst of the storm. It transforms the me against life narrative into the simple, peaceful recognition of life flowing through me. This question becomes the doorway to the Zen practice of experiencing no separate self. Notice how your hand touches the cup of tea, warm and steady. The steam rises, carrying the scent of leaves, and in that simple moment, the boundary between you and the cup, between you and the person across the table, begins to soften. This is not about thinking deeply or reaching for an idea. It is about the quiet shift that happens when the story of separate self, of me and you, simply stops being heard. Zen teaches that the separation we feel is not reality, but a thought, a habit of the mind that clings to identity like a worn-out coat. When that coat is laid down, the natural state of unity reveals itself. It is not a philosophy to be understood, but a presence to be lived, a direct experience of oneness that flows through every breath, every gesture, every shared silence. Imagine sitting with a friend who seems distant, their words sharp as if you are separate islands. You might feel a familiar tightness in your chest, the old story of "they don't understand me" rising. But in that moment, pause. Feel the shared air filling the space between you. Notice how your own breath matches theirs, even subtly, how the room holds both of you equally. The sharpness of their words dissolves not because you ignore them, but because you see the fear behind them as your own fear, the loneliness as your own loneliness. In that recognition, the wall of separation crumbles. You are not two separate people in conflict. You are two parts of the same unfolding moment, breathing the same air, feeling the same human ache. This is the deep practice, not forcing connection, but letting the illusion of separation fall away as naturally as a leaf detaches from a branch. It is the quiet knowing that you are never truly alone, for the web of life holds you both, gently, unbroken. This is not something you do. It is what happens when you stop trying to hold yourself apart. It is the ease of sitting with someone without needing to fix them or be fixed. It is the softening when you realize their struggle is not a personal attack on you, but a reflection of the shared human condition we all carry. The ego's insistence on me and not me fades in the warmth of this awareness, leaving only the clear, calm space where connection is the only truth. You might feel a lightness, a release of tension you didn't know was there, because the weight of separation was never yours to carry. This is the natural state, simple, present, and always available, right here in the ordinary moments of touching a cup, sharing a glance, or simply breathing together. When this awareness becomes your anchor, even in moments of tension, it transforms how you meet others. You no longer see a separate being to manage or judge, but a fellow traveler in the same river of life. The relationship deepens not through effort, but through the quiet recognition of shared ground. You listen not to respond, but to be present with the whole of the other person without the filter of your own identity. In that presence, suffering dissolves not because it disappears, but because it is seen as part of the shared fabric of existence. Not a personal burden to bear alone. This is the heart of Zen practice, seeing the unity that has always been there beneath the surface of separate names and forms. This brings us to koans, those ancient seemingly paradoxical questions that gently disrupt the mind's clinging to self. They challenge the very foundation of our separate identity, inviting us to step beyond thought into direct experience. Now, we will explore koans that deepen this understanding, revealing how the illusion of self is the very thing that keeps us from seeing the seamless whole. We continue our journey from the gentle acceptance of shared vulnerability, where the illusion of separation began to soften. Now we move deeper, not with more effort, but with a different kind of attention. The koan arrives not as a problem to solve, but as a gentle invitation to rest in the very space where the separate self dissolves. Consider the ancient question, what is the sound of one hand clapping? It is not a riddle for the mind to unravel. The mind, clinging to its need for concepts and answers, will strain and search. But the koan's purpose is to shatter that very search. Sit with it. Notice the mind's restless pull towards an answer, the subtle I, trying to grasp the sound. Then, simply let go. Release the need to find the solution. Allow the question to hang in the air, unsupported by thought. As you do this, without forcing or seeking, the familiar sense of I begins to lose its solidity. You may feel a softening, a quieting of the internal narrator. In that space, the concept of a separate, permanent I dissolves, not through thought, but through direct experience. You discover the emptiness of the self, not as an idea, but as the very ground of your being, where there is only sound, only water, only presence, without a me to hold on to. This is the revelation. The I is not a thing that exists separately, but a temporary gathering of thoughts, sensations, and stories, like ripples on water. It is not the foundation, but the movement itself. Imagine washing a bowl. The water is cool. The bowl is smooth. You feel the texture, hear the gentle splash. There is no I washing the bowl. There is only the water, the bowl, the movement of hands. The mind might whisper, I am cleaning. But the koan practice invites you to let that whisper fade. The action happens. The bowl is clean. But the separate I that claimed the action is absent. This is how non-self is embodied, not through intellectual understanding, but through the simple, direct experience of action without a doer. It is in the washing, the breathing, the listening, that the illusion of a separate self naturally falls away. So, as you sit with your own koan, perhaps the question of one hand clapping, or simply the sound of rain, let your effort dissolve. Notice the mind's habit of grasping. Gently return to the question without seeking. Let the sound, the feeling, the moment hold you. Do not chase the answer. Allow the question to hold you. In this resting, without the need to be the I that knows, you step into the direct experience of non-self. the ground of being opens, not as a concept, but as the simple reality of what is. This quieting, this softening into the question without an answer, is the path. It is the direct path to seeing that the self we cling to is not real. But the very fabric of experience is free and boundless. As the separate self dissolves in this practice, the natural flow of all things becomes clear. The ground of non-self reveals the ever-changing nature of existence. Embracing impermanence becomes the natural next step. Feel your breath move through your body like a flame that shifts with every inhale and exhale. Notice how the shape of the flame changes, never holding still, yet always present. This is the nature of what we call the self, impermanent, flowing, like the breath itself. We suffer not because things change, but because we resist the change, clinging to an idea of a fixed, separate self that was never real to begin with. When we soften this resistance, when we simply allow the current of existence to flow through us, the weight of struggle falls away. Suffering dissolves not by forcing things to stay the same, but by resting in the truth of their constant renewal. Consider the simple act of pouring tea. The steam rises and vanishes. The cup holds the liquid for a moment, then cools. The hands that hold it shift slightly. The person drinking it is not the same person who began the moment before. In that quiet moment, there is no separate self pouring or drinking, only the seamless movement of attention. The cup, the heat, the breath. The tea ceremony is not about the person doing the action. It is the action itself, happening without a separate doer. This is how the koan's wisdom becomes real, not as a thought, but as the felt experience of flow. Now bring this awareness into your ordinary day. As you walk, feel the shift in your feet touching the earth, the slight change with each step, the weight shifting, the mind noticing something new. While sitting, observe the thoughts passing through like clouds, each one different, each one dissolving into the next. Feel the warmth in your hands, then the coolness as the air moves. Notice how your body feels different now than it did an hour ago, how your mind holds a new thought. This is not a practice of looking for something dramatic. It is the gentle, continuous noticing of the ever-changing present. When you feel frustration rising, pause. Breathe. Ask softly, is this resistance against the way things truly are? Let the question soften the grip. The suffering fades not when the situation changes, but when you stop fighting the truth of its impermanence. This awareness is not something you achieve. It is the natural rhythm of being when you stop pretending to be separate. You do not need to hold on to the idea of yourself as a solid thing. You simply notice the changing stream of experience, breath, sensation, thought without grasping or pushing away. The body breathes. The mind thinks. The world moves. and you are not apart from it all. You are the awareness that holds the flow. This is how non-self becomes more than a teaching. It becomes the very ground of your daily living. It is not a concept to be understood, but a way of being that unfolds in every mindful step, every soft breath, every moment of acceptance. Non-self isn't just a concept, it's lived through mindful action. As the natural flow of awareness deepens, as we rest in the constant renewal of breath and step, we find the path of non-self, not in distant stillness, but in the very movement of daily life. The illusion of a separate doer dissolves not by stopping action, but by seeing how action unfolds without that separate self. Imagine washing dishes at the sink. The water is warm. The clink of porcelain soft. Normally, we might think, I'm washing these dishes. I'm the one making them clean. But in mindful action, the thought of I softens. The water flows. The sponge moves. The dishes become clean. This happens through the hands, through the moment. Not by a separate I directing it. There is no one performing the action. There is only the action itself, happening as part of the whole. The movement of your arm, the sound of water, the focus on the soap suds, they are simply happening without a central controller. This is the practice, to act without the constant narration of I am doing this. When you walk, the walking happens through your legs, through the earth, not by a separate self walking. When you speak, the words arise through the breath and the listening, not through a fixed I speaking. The action is the river. The separate self is the illusion of a bank that never existed. This is not about becoming passive or losing your sense of responsibility. It is about seeing that responsibility, care, and action arise naturally without the weight of a separate ego clinging to the outcome. You wash the dishes because the dishes are dirty, not because I need to be seen as tidy. You help another because the need is present, not because I wish to be praised. In this way, every ordinary task becomes a profound teaching. Try it now. As you read these words, feel your hands resting on the page or the keyboard. Notice the breath moving in your chest. See if you can let go of the thought I am reading and simply rest in the act of reading itself. The words appear, the meaning arises, this happens, not because of a separate self, but because of the whole flow of attention and presence. The separation dissolves in the very doing. This is not a concept to grasp, but a direct experience to live. It is the quiet liberation of moving through the world without the heavy burden of me constantly stepping in. The dishes get washed. The tea is poured. The step is taken, all without a separate doer to claim credit or carry blame. The natural flow continues, seamless and whole. Living without ego attachment is the culmination of this path. It is not a distant state to achieve, but the very ground we stand on, moment by moment. when we stop resisting the simple, clear reality of action happening through us, not by us. This is where wisdom becomes real, where non-self is not just understood, but lived in the quiet rhythm of the everyday. As you breathe now, feel how the next step arises without a separate self directing it. This simple movement, this quiet awareness in the space between thoughts, is where non-self lives. It is not a concept to grasp, but the natural ground of being when we stop clutching at an idea of I. Ego attachment is the root of conflict and suffering because it builds walls around a fragile sense of self, constantly seeking to protect, prove, or control. This creates fear that distorts every action. Living without it means acting from a deep well of clarity and compassion, not from the anxious voice that says, I must be seen, I must win, I must avoid pain. True action flows from seeing things as they are, without the filter of mine or not mine. Consider the moment you serve tea to another. In that simple act, the old habit might whisper, will they notice how well I pour? Will they think I'm generous? This is ego speaking, seeking approval or reinforcing a separate identity. But when the pouring happens without that inner commentary, when the focus is simply on the warmth of the cup, the gentle tilt of the pot, the presence of the other person, something shifts. The tea is served not because you want to be seen as kind, but because kindness is the natural expression of the moment. The hand moves, the cup is filled, and there is no one left to feel pride or shame about it. This is action arising from wisdom, not fear. It is the effortless flow described in the previous chapter, now made tangible in ordinary moments. This is the practice. In your next decision, however small, pause. Ask yourself gently, is this from ego or wisdom? Is this choice driven by a need to feel safe, superior, or in control? Or is it a clear response to what is needed right now, without the burden of I? When you choose to listen deeply to a friend, not to fix them or feel heard yourself, but simply to be present with their words, that is wisdom acting. When you let go of a small frustration without blaming others or yourself, that is the release of ego. It is not about becoming perfect. It is about recognizing the momentary tug of the I and choosing to step back into the spaciousness of awareness. This way of being transforms the ordinary into the sacred. It dissolves the illusion that we are separate islands fighting the current. Instead, we see ourselves as part of the current, moving with it, responding with clarity and compassion. The conflict ends not by forcing the world to conform, but by releasing the internal resistance that creates the conflict in the first place. The root of suffering is not the changing world, but our clinging to a fixed idea of who we are within it. Letting go of that clinging is not passive. It is the most active, courageous, and compassionate way to live. Now, we'll revisit these concepts with deeper insight. Imagine the coolness of water on your tongue, a simple taste you feel without needing to explain it. This is anatta, not a concept to be grasped with the mind, but a direct experience, like knowing water is wet without thinking about it. When you notice thoughts arising, fleeting images, worries, plans, without a separate thinker behind them, you taste freedom in this very moment. There is no I watching the thoughts. The thoughts simply appear, and the space around them is open, clear, and free. This isn't about losing yourself in some abstract way. It is about finding your true nature, which has never been separate or confined. It is the natural state of being, already whole and undivided. Consider the simple act of drinking tea. You lift the cup, feel the warmth, taste the steam, and sip. In ordinary awareness, the mind might say, I am drinking this tea. But if you pause, truly pause, you might notice the movement of the hand, the sensation of the cup, the taste on the tongue, all happening without a distinct I directing the action. The thought I'm drinking arises, but the drinking itself is effortless, seamless, like a river flowing. The mind creates the story of a separate drinker, but the reality is simply the movement of water, the warmth, the taste, all happening within the field of awareness itself. This is not a loss. It is the relief of realizing you were never truly holding on to anything separate. The true nature is the openness in which all experience arises, like the sky holding clouds without grasping them. Now, bring this gentle awareness to your next quiet moment. Notice a thought arise, a memory, a plan, a worry. Instead of following it with I'm thinking this, simply observe the thought appearing, like a cloud passing through the sky. Feel the space around it, the space where the thought wasn't needed. In that space, there is no thinker to be found, only the clear presence of the thought itself. This is the taste of freedom, not in the absence of thoughts, but in the absence of the story that I'm thinking them. You are not the thought, you are the awareness in which the thought appears and dissolves. This is not intellectual understanding, it is the simple, direct experience of being alive, unburdened. When you truly taste the water without the story of the drinker, the heavy weight of I and mine lifts. You see that calm, seamless presence isn't something you achieve. It is the ground of your being, always present, always free. It is the quiet space where action arises naturally, without the need for a separate self to direct it, as we began to see in the flow of effortless action. This realization isn't a destination, it is the clear seeing of what has always been true. Now, let's see how this transforms daily interactions, where the illusion of a separate self dissolves into the natural ease of being fully present with what is. Consider the ordinary moments of your day not as separate events happening to a fixed you, but as a continuous flow of energy passing through you. When you step into a crowded room, notice how the tension you feel isn't truly yours to hold, but a current moving through the space. It's not you against the crowd, but the air shifting around you. This is the gentle unfolding of non-self in action, without the need to defend a separate identity. Interactions lose their sharp edges. A sharp word from a colleague no longer feels like a personal attack on your core. It simply is a sound passing through the shared atmosphere. Your reaction softens because the rigid boundary of me dissolving, allowing the situation to be seen clearly, not through the lens of a wounded self. Think of water in a container. When poured into a cup, it takes the cup's shape. Into a bowl, it becomes round. It never resists its container. It simply flows. Your reactions to daily encounters are like this water. When you release the idea of a permanent, unchanging self that must be protected, your responses become fluid and responsive, not reactive. You don't need to win the conversation because you no longer feel the need to prove the existence of a separate me within it. The heat of frustration melts into awareness of the actual situation, perhaps a misunderstanding, a shared stress, a momentary lapse in communication. You see the other person not as an opponent, but as another current flowing alongside your own. This is the practical heart of non-self in daily life. In moments of friction, pause, feel the tightness, then gently ask yourself, is this about me or about the situation? Does this need to be defended as me being wrong or right? Or is it simply a moment needing clarity, like a river finding its path? Notice how the tightness eases when you shift the question. The conflict wasn't about your worth, it was about the words, the timing, the unmet need. You respond not from a place of I am hurt, but from a place of this needs attention now. The energy shifts from conflict to connection. The sharpness of me versus them dissolves into the simple, clear space of what is happening right here, right now. This isn't about becoming passive. It's about seeing clearly without the distortion of a fixed self. When you stop seeking to protect a separate I in every interaction, the energy of the moment flows freely through you. There's no need to build a wall around yourself. The warmth of presence becomes the natural state. You don't have to be anything. You simply are, moving with the current. The friction that once caused suffering was never in the interaction itself, but in the clinging to the illusion of a separate self that had to be defended. This simple shift asking, is this about me, is the key. It reveals the root of suffering, the constant, exhausting effort to maintain a fixed identity against the ever-changing stream of life. When you release that effort, the stream flows freely, and you find yourself not fighting the current, but moving with it. This is the profound simplicity of non-self revealed in the ordinary breath of daily living. It shows why holding on to me is the source of suffering. and how releasing it brings immediate peace. Let this gentle practice guide you deeper into the freedom of seeing clearly. As you sit here now, notice the quiet space between thoughts where awareness simply is. This is the ground we've been cultivating, freedom from the constant narration of I that colors every experience. Today, we gently revisit something we've touched before, but now with deeper clarity, the illusion of a fixed identity. Identity labels, whether I am a leader, I am anxious, or I am this or that, are not who you are. They are like costumes, useful for navigating the moment, but never your essence. Think of them as temporary garments you wear for a specific occasion. When life shifts, as it always does, clinging tightly to these costumes creates suffering. It is like wearing a tailored suit during a sudden storm. The fabric binds you, chafes you, and becomes a burden when the wind and rain come. You feel trapped by what you've chosen to wear, forgetting you could simply be present in the weather without needing the suit at all. Consider a simple Zen moment, a monk changing his robes before a rainstorm. He removes the formal outer garment, not because it was wrong, but because it no longer serves. He doesn't argue with the rain or mourn the loss of the robe's form. He simply moves with the flow, bare to the elements, unburdened. This is the practice, not rejecting the label, but seeing it as a tool, not a truth. When you notice yourself saying, I am this or I am not that, pause. Feel the subtle tightening in your chest, the resistance to what is. Then, gently release the attachment. Breathe. Notice the thought, I am stressed, arise, and instead of merging with it, soften. Say to yourself, there is a thought of being stressed, but I am not that thought. Let it pass like a cloud through the sky. This isn't about erasing your experience. It's about not letting the story of me hold you captive within it. The suffering comes not from the experience itself, but from the relentless I that says, this must be mine. This must define me. When you loosen that grip, the weight lifts. You step into the space where you simply are, without needing to name or claim yourself. Try this now. As you sit, listen for the next time you say, I am in your mind. It might be, I'm tired. I'm right. I'm wrong. Notice the phrase. Then, without judgment, let it go. Imagine the words dissolving like mist in sunlight. You don't need to become someone else. You simply return to the quiet awareness that was always here, beyond the label. This gentle release isn't a grand effort, it's a soft turning. A return to the clear water beneath the surface ripples. As you practice this, you'll find the mind no longer chases the story. Thoughts arise, yes, but they become clear observations, not personal dramas. They flow through the open space of awareness without leaving a trace of me behind. The storm still comes, but you no longer wear the suit. You are the sky, not the garment. And in that simplicity, the mind becomes perfectly clear, ready to meet each moment as it is. As this release happens, thoughts become clear observations. Close your eyes now and feel the space within your breath. Notice how thoughts arise like ripples on a still pond, not as solid things but as passing movements in the water. This is the river of life flowing through you, not stopped by a fixed point called me. Emptiness is not nothingness. It is the spacious openness where life moves freely, like a river finding its path without resistance. There is no need to hold the river in place or claim it as yours. It simply flows. In meditation, rest not in the thoughts themselves, but in the awareness that holds them. Watch a thought come, like a leaf floating down the stream. See it clearly, yet feel no need to grasp it, push it away, or say, "This is mine." Just observe its shape, its color, its movement, and let it drift on. This awareness is always present, calm and undisturbed, like the deep water beneath the ripples. It does not judge the leaf as beautiful or ugly. It simply knows the leaf is there, and then it is gone. This is the natural state of mind when the tight grip of I dissolves. There is no longer a separate self watching the thoughts. Instead, there is only the clear seeing, the spacious knowing that is already free. Imagine sitting by a riverbank as the sun warms your skin. You see the water moving, hear the birds, feel the breeze. You do not think, "I am watching the river," nor do you feel separate from it. You simply are the awareness that holds the whole scene. The river flows, the birds sing, the breeze moves, and you are not apart from this flow. You are the space in which all movement happens. This is not an idea you achieve, it is the simple truth of your nature when the illusion of a separate, solid self fades. The labels I, may, mine were never real anchors, only temporary costumes you wore. When you release clinging to them, you step into the vast, open sky of pure awareness. You realize you were never bound by the costume. The sky is always clear, even when clouds pass through it. Now, bring this gentle awareness into your own moments. When a thought arises, perhaps a worry about tomorrow, a memory of yesterday, feel the space around it. Notice the thought as a passing shape in the air, not a command to be obeyed or a threat to be fought. Breathe into that space between thoughts. Feel the quiet strength of the awareness that holds the thought without being changed by it. This is not emptiness as void, it is fullness as freedom. In this space, there is no struggle, only the natural movement of life happening through you. You are not the river, you are the river's path. the open valley where the water flows without obstruction. This is the deep peace the Buddha discovered. The peace that comes from knowing you are not a thing to be held, but the very space that allows all things to be. Now, let's observe thoughts without claiming ownership. As you sit quietly, notice the space within your awareness. It holds everything, yet claims nothing. Thoughts arise like birds flying through the vast sky of your being, sudden, bright, and fleeting. They come and go without a single owner. You may feel the urge to say, "I'm thinking this," or "this thought belongs to me." But observe closely. Is there a separate I holding the thought, or is it simply the thought happening? The mind often clings to the idea of a thinker, but in truth, thinking is merely a natural movement within the open space of awareness. Try this gentle practice when a thought appears, perhaps about a task unfinished, a worry about tomorrow, or a memory of the past. Pause softly. Feel the thought arise within the spaciousness. Then silently whisper, "This is a thought, not me." Not "I have a thought," but "this is a thought." Let the words dissolve the illusion of ownership. Feel how the thought loses its power to disturb when you no longer claim it as yours. It simply is, like a cloud passing through the sky. There is no need to chase it, argue with it, or defend it. It exists within the awareness that is always already free. This is not about suppressing thoughts or becoming cold. It is about recognizing the warmth of awareness itself, which holds the thought without being touched by it. Feel the difference when you step back from "I am thinking" and rest in "thinking is happening." The I that thought was clinging to dissolves like salt in water. You are the clear sky, not the cloud. Notice how this practice feels in your body. Perhaps your shoulders soften, your breath becomes lighter as the tight grip of me loosens. This is not a new technique to master. It is the natural unfolding of seeing clearly. The mind may still say, "I'm thinking," but now you know it is only a thought arising within the awareness that is always present. You are not the thought, the emotion, or the label. You are the space that holds them all without needing to be anything. This simple shift is profound. It is not about adding something new, but releasing the false sense of ownership that has burdened you for so long. The thought about work is just a thought. The feeling of anxiety is just a feeling. They are not you. They are part of the landscape you witness. In this witnessing, there is no one to be anxious, no one to be thinking, only the pure, open presence that is already whole. Notice how this gentle practice naturally extends to your emotions. When anger flares or sadness settles, the same question arises, is this me, or is it simply happening within me? This practice of observing without owner leads directly to questioning I in emotions, revealing their true nature as passing phenomena, not fixed identities. the awareness that holds them remains steady, unshaken and free. It is the same awareness that holds the birds of thought in its vast, quiet sky. As we continue to explore this spacious awareness we have been gently cultivating, let us now turn our attention to the vibrant, sometimes turbulent, landscape of our emotions. You may recall in the last section we noticed thoughts as passing shapes within the open sky of awareness. Now, let us extend this same gentle observation to the powerful currents of feeling that arise within us. When anger flares, or sadness deepens, or joy surges, we often instinctively say, "I'm angry" or "I'm sad." This simple identification, however, is the very point where we can deepen our understanding of non-self. Emotions are not who we are. They are energy moving through you, like wind moving through a tree. The tree does not become the wind, nor does it deny the wind's passage. It simply holds the space for the wind to move through it. Consider this moment. A wave of frustration arises. Instead of immediately saying, "I'm frustrated," pause for just a breath. Feel the sensation in your body, the tightness, the heat. Then gently ask yourself, is this frustration, or is it the awareness of frustration? This simple question creates a subtle shift. It is not that the frustration disappears, but the identification with it begins to soften. You are no longer the frustration. You are the awareness that knows the frustration. This reveals emotions as temporary states, not your identity. They come and they go, like clouds passing across the sky, while the sky itself remains vast and unchanged. The anger is not me, it is a wave in the ocean of awareness. The sadness is not me, it is a ripple on the surface of the still water beneath. You are the water, not the ripple. This practice requires no effort, only a gentle turning of attention. Next time you feel a strong emotion, don't try to push it away or cling to it. Simply notice the sensation, then ask that quiet question, is this me? Or is it merely happening within me? Feel the space around the feeling. Notice how the feeling itself has a beginning, a peak, and an end, while the awareness that holds it remains steady. The emotion is a story unfolding, but you are the quiet witness to that unfolding story. You are not the story, you are the space in which the story is told. This is not about denying the emotion, but about recognizing its impermanent nature and seeing that your true nature is beyond its rise and fall. It is the calm beneath the surface, the unchanging clarity that observes the storm without being the storm. In this simple practice of questioning I in the midst of feeling, we directly experience the teaching that the self we cling to is not a fixed point, but a continuous flow of experience. We see that the I that says I am angry is itself a temporary configuration of thoughts and sensations, not a permanent entity. The anger is a passing phenomenon within the larger field of awareness. The warmth of kindness, the sting of regret, the ease of peace. All these are merely movements within the boundless space of being. This is the profound wisdom of non-self, realized not in theory, but in the very heart of our emotional experience. It is here, in the raw material of our feelings, that we touch the truth of our interconnected, ever-changing nature. This reveals emotions as temporary states, not your identity. It shows the self as a changing flow, not a fixed point, a gentle unfolding of awareness itself. As we move forward, we will continue to explore this fluid nature of mind, deepening our trust in the spacious presence that holds all experience. Find a quiet space within your awareness. Let the gentle rhythm of your breath settle you, as it always does. In the previous moments, we explored thoughts as phenomena within the spacious witness, and emotions as temporary movements within the field of awareness. Now, let us deepen this understanding by truly seeing the self not as a fixed point, but as a river in constant motion. Your sense of I is not a stone, but the water itself always flowing, never the same. Notice how, in a single minute, your thoughts shift from one concern to another. Your feelings rise and fade like waves on a shore. Your physical sensations change as you sit or move. This is not a flaw. This is the very nature of being. There is no permanent self to grasp, only the continuous flow of experience. To truly see this, close your eyes gently. Settle into stillness for just a few moments. Feel the quiet space within you. Now, without judgment, simply observe what arises in your mind. A thought about tomorrow, a flicker of warmth, a memory. Watch it form. Notice it change. See it dissolve. Feel the subtle shift in your body as a feeling of ease arrives, then softens. See how your attention moves, how your inner landscape transforms. You are not the thought, not the feeling, not the sensation. You are the awareness that holds them all, the river that flows through all these changing forms. This is the profound wisdom of non-self. It is not about losing yourself, but about recognizing the beautiful, impermanent dance of life within you. It is not a loss of identity, but the dissolution of a mistaken idea of a fixed, separate self. The river does not need to be a river. It simply is the water, flowing. There is no me trying to hold the water still. The water simply flows. This is the deep peace of seeing clearly. When you sit in this stillness, noticing the constant change, you begin to feel the warmth of your own awareness, not as a separate entity, but as the very ground of being. You see that the self you thought was solid is actually the river, and the river is never still. The thoughts, the feelings, the actions, they are the water, flowing. The witness remains, spacious and calm. not needing to be anything other than what it is. This is the practice, not to stop the flow, but to rest in the awareness of the flow itself. Notice the subtle shifts within you right now. Feel the breath moving through your body, a gentle current. See how your attention drifts, how a new thought appears, how the feeling of this moment changes as you observe it. There is no need to fix anything, no need to change the flow. Simply be the calm space that holds the river. As you deepen this observation, you will find that the gentle art of mindful breathing becomes the perfect tool to dissolve the ego. The breath, ever present, ever changing, becomes a mirror for the flow. It shows you, without words, that you are not the breath, but the awareness of the breath. The river flows, and the witness rests. This is the path of Dharma wisdom, clear and simple as the water in the stream. Find a quiet space within your awareness and simply breathe. Let the breath flow in and out without any effort to control it or claim it as your own. Notice how the air moves through your body, cool on the inhale, warm on the exhale, a natural rhythm as constant as the earth itself. There is no separate self directing this movement, no I breathing. The thought I am breathing arises, but gently let it be just that, a thought, not a fact. Breathe without a me doing the breathing, just the natural rhythm. This is the simplest, most profound practice of non-self. Imagine a clear mountain stream flowing over smooth stones. The water moves. It flows. It shapes the stones without needing a separate entity to say, I am the water. It simply is the water, moving as water does. In the same way, your breath flows. It is not owned by a separate self. It is the very movement of life within you. When you sit quietly, observing the breath, you may notice a gap between one thought and the next. In that quiet space, there is no me thinking, no separate identity holding onto the thought. You simply are the awareness that holds the space, empty of a fixed self. This is the experience of emptiness, not as a void, but as the natural openness where all things arise and pass. In the space between thoughts, experience the absence of a separate self. This simple practice reveals the emptiness of the ego in every breath. Now, bring this awareness gently to your own breath. As you read these words, feel the natural rise and fall of your breath. Notice the cool air entering your nostrils, the gentle expansion of your chest or abdomen. If you find yourself thinking, I'm breathing, acknowledge the thought softly, like a cloud passing through clear sky, and return to the feeling of the breath itself. Do not chase the thought away. Simply let it be and rest in the quiet space where the thought was. This is not about forcing emptiness. It is about recognizing what is already true. The ego's grip softens not through struggle, but through the simple, clear seeing of how the breath moves without a self to move it. You are not the breath, nor the thought about the breath. You are the spacious awareness in which both arise and dissolve. The more you rest in this noticing, the more you see that the sense of a separate me is merely a temporary gathering of thoughts and sensations, like a cloud forming and fading in the vast sky. Feel the warmth of your own breath as it flows through you. A constant, gentle movement. In this moment, there is only the breath, only the awareness of the breath. The idea of a separate self dissolves like mist in the morning sun. You are not breathing. The breath is simply happening, and you are the awareness that holds it. This is not a concept to be understood intellectually, but a direct experience to be felt in the quiet of your own being. As you continue to rest in this simple practice, you begin to see that the attachment to me was never real in the first place. It was a story, a habit of the mind, not the truth of your nature. With this clarity, we can release attachment to me entirely. Life flows like a river, constantly changing, never holding still. This is the truth we touched in the gentle flow of breath and the river of experience. Yet, often we stand on the bank, clinging to a fixed point called me, resisting the river's natural current. This clinging to me is the root of suffering. We resist what is. We fight against the flow of life itself, simply because it doesn't match our idea of my way. Notice how you hold on to my opinions as if they are solid and permanent. Feel the tightness when my body feels imperfect, or when my life story seems to be unfolding in a way that doesn't fit your plan. This constant grasping my thoughts, my feelings, my identity creates a heavy burden, a constant low-level tension against the present moment. Imagine holding a simple cup of tea. You feel the warmth, the weight, the shape. Then, without warning, the thought arises, this is my cup. You feel a subtle sense of ownership, a small tightening. But pause, just for a breath. Let the thought hang in the air. Ask gently, is this truly mine, or just a thought? The cup is simply there, held by the hands, filled with tea. The sense of mine is a thought, a label added on, not the reality of the cup itself. It was never truly yours to possess. It was simply present. This small pause, this simple question, dissolves the illusion of ownership. It's not about rejecting the cup, but seeing clearly that the me attached to it was a temporary thought, not a solid thing. Now, bring this to your daily life. When you feel a surge of my opinion rising in a conversation, pause. When you glance in the mirror and notice a critical thought about my body, pause. When you catch yourself rehearsing my life story with frustration, pause. Notice the sensation of clinging, a slight tension in the shoulders, a quickening of the breath. Then, Softly ask, is this truly mine? Or just a thought? This isn't about judgment. It's a gentle invitation to see the thought for what it is. You might find that the my thought dissolves as soon as you look at it, revealing the simple, unattached reality of the moment. The opinion is just an opinion. The body is just a body. The story is just a story. They are not yours to hold on to tightly. This practice isn't about becoming something else. It's about releasing the unnecessary burden of me that we carry constantly, moment by moment, without realizing it. This simple act of pausing and questioning my is the key to living without the heavy weight of ego. It softens the constant inner critic, the relentless self-judgment that says, you should be this or you should not be that. When you see that my is just a passing thought, the fierce grip of self-judgment loosens. You are no longer fighting against yourself, against the river. You simply are as the river flows. This releases the burden of self-judgment we carry daily, making space for a deeper, more peaceful presence right here, right now. Imagine the quiet rhythm of your morning routine. You pour tea, the steam rising softly, and suddenly the cup slips. Hot liquid spills across the counter. In that instant, a familiar thought arises. I am clumsy, I'm careless, I am flawed. This automatic self-judgment happens so quickly it feels like a fact. But notice how it tightens your chest, how it pulls you away from the present moment and into a story about who you are. This is the core of self-judgment, the subtle attachment to a fixed, flawed identity that we carry as if it were truth. When you judge yourself, you are not seeing reality. You are seeing just a mental story, a habitual label you've placed upon yourself, not the simple, unfolding experience of spilling tea. That story creates suffering where none need exist. It turns a minor accident into a personal failing, making you feel separate from the flow of life. Consider this as the tea spills. Instead of thinking I'm bad, try noticing I'm experiencing judgment right now. Feel the warmth of the steam. Hear the sound of ceramic on wood, and gently observe the thought I am clumsy arise. See it as a passing cloud in the sky of your awareness, not as a permanent mark on your being. This small shift changes everything. It releases the grip of the fixed identity. You are not the judgment. You are the space where the judgment appears. You are not clumsy. You are simply experiencing a moment where the cup slipped. The judgment dissolves not by fighting it, but by recognizing it as a temporary thought, not your true nature. It's like watching a leaf float down a stream. You see the leaf, but you don't become the leaf. You are the still water beneath it. This is the practice of releasing self-judgment daily. It happens not in grand moments, but in the quiet, ordinary turns of your day. When you catch yourself thinking I'm unlovable, I'm failing, I am not enough, pause. Breathe softly. Notice the physical sensation of the judgment in your body, perhaps a tightness in your throat, a sinking in your chest. Then, softly say to yourself, I am experiencing judgment right now. Feel how the tightness begins to soften. Feel how the story loses its power when you step back and see it as just a thought, not a fact about who you are. This is not about denying your actions, it's about seeing beyond the story you tell about them. It's about returning to the simple reality of this moment, where you are simply being, not defined by any label. You are the awareness that holds the experience of spilling tea, of feeling judgment, of noticing the steam, of the warmth of the cup in your hands. You are the spaciousness that holds all of it without needing to fix it or judge it. This gentle shift, replacing I am with I am experiencing, is how you live without ego in daily life. It dissolves the illusion that you are a fixed, flawed entity. It makes space for peace to arise right here, right now, in the midst of ordinary actions. It is the quiet release that happens when you stop fighting the story and simply see it for what it is. This is the heart of embodied non-self. It is not a distant goal, it is the very ground of your next breath, your next step, your next cup of tea. This gentle shift prepares the ground for the next step in releasing identity labels. As you move through your day, perhaps you notice a familiar whisper, I am an introvert, or I am a success, or I am the quiet one. These labels often feel like they define you, a comfortable anchor in the sea of life. Yet the Dharma wisdom teaches us these are merely tools we use to navigate the world, not the very fabric of who you are. When we cling to such identity labels, we build walls around the ever-flowing river of experience. We see life not as a river but as a fixed channel, limiting our ability to feel its natural current, its unexpected turns, and its deep, quiet stillness. The fluidity of being dissolves into a rigid shape. A label becomes a cage, even when it feels like a familiar home. Consider the simple act of drinking tea. You might think, I'm a tea drinker, holding that identity tightly. But in the Zen moment, there is only the warmth in your hands, the steam rising, the taste on your tongue, the quiet awareness of the present sip. The label tea drinker dissolves in the actual experience of drinking. The monk in the garden doesn't think I am the gardener. He simply tends the soil, feels the earth, sees the blossoms. His action is clear, unburdened by the weight of a name. He is not separate from the garden. He is the garden's gentle attention. This is how life flows when we release the need to name it. The label was always a tool for others to understand you, not a truth about your essence. It was never yours to own. Now, perhaps for one day, Gently notice when you slip into these identity labels. When you catch yourself thinking, I am this or I am not that, pause. Feel the subtle weight of the label. Then, softly, let it go. Not by fighting it, but by simply noticing its presence and allowing it to drift away, like a leaf on a stream. You might notice it while waiting in line, I'm impatient, or while speaking, I am the quiet one. Instead of adding another layer to the identity, simply observe, there is the thought of being quiet. Then, without adding I am, return to the feeling of your breath, the sound of the room, the simple fact of being present. It is not about becoming something new, but about releasing the old, heavy cloak. It is a practice of returning to the unlabeled, open space of awareness where life simply is. This gentle release, day by day, is the path of embodied non-self. It is not a grand gesture, but a quiet shift in how you meet each moment. You are not the label you carry. You are the space in which the label appears and disappears. This is the profound freedom found in letting go of the fixed idea of who I am. It is the quiet understanding that your essence is not a thing to be defined, but the boundless, ever-changing field of awareness itself. As the label fades in your awareness, what remains is the living moment, unobstructed by the stories we tell ourselves. This is the natural state of being, already present beneath the surface of all identity. It is the very ground of your existence, waiting to be known without a name. When labels fade, what remains is the living moment itself, and this is where true freedom begins. This gentle letting go of all fixed identity leads directly to the dissolution of the self-concept entirely. Imagine standing in a vast desert under a hot sun. You see shimmering water ahead, a cool oasis beckoning. You walk toward it, only to find empty sand. This mirage, this illusion of water, is like the self-concept we carry. It appears real, demanding our attention, our fear, our desperate clinging, yet it dissolves with a single step, revealing only the enduring earth beneath your feet. So it is with the self we believe in, this persistent I that judges, defends, and defines us. It is not a solid thing, but a mental mirage, a temporary pattern of thought and feeling, like the desert illusion. Dissolving it isn't about vanishing into nothingness. It is about releasing the exhausting grip of the ego's demands, the constant need to be right, to be safe, to be someone specific. It is the deep sigh of freedom when you realize you are not the storm, but the vast sky holding the storm. Consider a simple moment watching a river flow. You sit by the bank, not as I'm observing, but simply as awareness flowing with the water. You notice the leaves drifting downstream, the sunlight dappling the surface, the sound of the current, There is no separate me watching the river. The thought I'm watching arises, but it does not stick. It flows like the leaves, a passing event in the field of awareness. The river doesn't judge the leaves for their shape or speed. It simply is. This is the natural state of non-self, not becoming an empty void, but being fully present as life itself, unburdened by the weight of a fixed identity. The ego's demands, this need to control, to be seen a certain way, simply lose their power when you see them as just thoughts, not your essence. Now, bring this gentle awareness into your next ordinary moment. Perhaps you're washing dishes. Feel the warm water, the smooth porcelain, the rhythm of your hands. Notice the thought, "I am clumsy," or "I should be done faster," arise. Don't chase it or fight it. Simply observe it as a passing cloud in the sky of your attention. Feel the water on your skin without the eye that judges the water's temperature. This is the practice, not to eliminate the thought, but to stop identifying with it. You are not the thought of being clumsy, you are the presence that notices the thought. The fixed label clumsy person dissolves in the warmth of mindful attention. The ego's demand for perfection fades, replaced by the simple, clear sensation of the task itself. This is not about becoming less. It is about being more fully alive, right here, right now, without the heavy armor of I. This dissolution of the self-concept is not a distant ideal. It is the quiet shift that happens when you stop fighting the flow of life and simply rest within it. It is the freedom that comes from realizing you are not the prisoner of your own thoughts, but the open space where thoughts arise and pass. The demands of the ego, fear, pride, the need for approval lose their hold because you see them for what they are: temporary, illusory, like the desert mirage. You are not the mirage. You are the vast, clear space where the mirage appears and disappears. This is the deep peace of non-self, not an absence, but the full presence of being as life. Now, we'll explore how this profound freedom transforms the very essence of your relationships. Imagine two hands reaching to share a cup of tea. Not one hand offering to another hand, but a single current of warmth flowing between them. A moment where the separate idea of I and you simply dissolves into the shared act of giving and receiving. This is the heart of non-self in relationships. We often approach others as if we are two separate islands meeting on a shore, each island defined by its own walls, its own story, its own identity. But the truth is, relationships are not me meeting you. They are a dance of interconnected energy, a single river flowing through many channels. The sense of a separate self that we cling to is the very barrier that prevents us from truly seeing the other, from feeling the deep, quiet current of connection that already exists. When we gently release the fixed concept of me as a separate entity, something remarkable happens. The tightness in the chest, the need to be right, the fear of being misunderstood, all begin to soften. Without the constant background hum of me versus you, we are free to simply be present. We see the other person not as a reflection of our own needs or fears, but as a fellow human being, part of the same vast, breathing field of life. This is where compassion naturally arises, not as an effort, but as a simple recognition of shared vulnerability and shared joy. It is the quiet peace that comes when we stop trying to build a wall and instead feel the gentle touch of the wind on our skin. Consider a simple moment: two friends sitting in silence after a long walk. One might feel the urge to fill the quiet with words, to prove their presence, to be noticed. But what if they simply notice the shared breath, the unspoken ease of being together, the way the light falls on both their faces equally? They are not two separate people in a room. They are 2 points of awareness within a single, unfolding moment. The need to perform or define oneself fades, and in that space, there is only the clear, warm presence of connection. This is the practice in your next interaction, whether with a partner, a child, a colleague, or even a stranger on the street. Let the question, "Who am I talking to?" gently fade. Instead, focus on the connection, the shared breath, the unspoken understanding, the common ground of simply being alive together. Notice where the separation dissolves and where the shared energy flows. This shift is not about losing yourself, but about discovering the vastness that was always there beyond the small, separate story. It is the liberation of seeing that we are never truly alone, never truly separate. The more we practice this in our relationships, the more we begin to sense the same interconnected flow in every aspect of life: the rustling of leaves, the rhythm of the city, the very ground beneath our feet. This reveals interconnectedness in all aspects of life. Close your eyes for just a moment. Feel the quiet space between your breaths. Notice the weight of your body resting, the gentle rise and fall. This very moment, right here, is where the truth of interconnectedness lives. It is not a distant idea to be grasped, but the living fabric of your present experience. You are not a separate island, but a single thread within a vast, living tapestry. Each thread, each life, is woven together, supporting and being supported by the whole. This is the simple, profound reality of non-self in relationship. When we see ourselves as a separate, fixed entity, we build walls between us and the world. We act as if our choices exist in isolation, forgetting the gentle ripples they send through the river of life. A kind word offered, a moment of patience held, even the quiet way we sit in a room, these actions touch the lives of others and the very air around us. They are not isolated events, they are threads pulled within the larger weave. The water you drink comes from mountains that feel the rain, The leaves rustling outside were nourished by the same sun that warms your skin. And the person sitting beside you breathes the same air that fills your lungs. Your well-being is inextricably linked to the well-being of the earth, the air, and every being you share this moment with. Consider a simple act, sharing a cup of tea as you pour the hot water. Notice the journey it took. The water gathered in distant clouds, flowed through mountains, perhaps passed through the roots of a tea plant that grew in rich soil. The leaves were picked by hands that felt the sun and the wind. The cup in your hands was shaped by earth and fire, held by a maker whose life is also woven into this moment. The steam rising carries the scent of the earth, the warmth of the sun, the care of the person who prepared it. In this small act, the illusion of separation dissolves. You are not just the one pouring, you are the water, the leaf, the maker, the air, the earth itself, all flowing together in this shared warmth. The tea is not separate from you. You are part of the tea's story, as the tea is part of your story. Now, feel this interconnectedness in your own skin. Right now, feel the solid earth beneath your feet, the air moving gently through your lungs, the quiet presence of those around you, whether they are visible or not. Notice the subtle warmth of the room, the sound of distant life, the shared breath of the moment. This is not a feeling to be created. It is the natural state of being, obscured only by the illusion of a separate self. When you relax into this awareness, a quiet warmth arises, not the warmth of a fire, but the gentle, deep warmth of knowing you are held within the embrace of the whole. It is a presence free from the need to be anything other than what is, a quiet strength that flows from seeing the web, not just the thread. This perspective, this felt sense of being a single thread in the living tapestry, is especially powerful in difficult moments. When conflict arises, when pain feels sharp and isolating, remember the shared breath, the common ground beneath your feet, the invisible threads of care that have always connected you. The ripples of your action extend beyond the moment of difficulty into the larger weave. Seeing this, the sharp edges of separation soften. The struggle doesn't vanish, but it becomes part of a larger story, held within a greater compassion. The path forward becomes clearer when you understand you are never truly alone, never acting in a vacuum. You are always part of the whole, and the whole is always part of you. This is the deep peace that arises when the mirage of separation dissolves, revealing the interconnected heart. In the quiet hum of a kitchen late at night, a single dish slips from your hand, shattering on the floor. The sharp sound echoes in the stillness, and instantly a familiar wave of heat rises in your chest. The ego whispers, "This is happening to me, a personal failure, a sign of my clumsiness or worthlessness." You feel the sting, the isolation of the moment, as if the whole world has turned against you. This is the trap we all step into when hardship strikes, seeing it as a direct assault on the separate self we cling to. The suffering deepens because we personalize the chaos, making it about our perceived inadequacy rather than the simple, shared reality of things breaking. But what if we gently shift our gaze? What if, in that moment of the broken dish, we notice the shared breath of the household, the common ground we all stand on? The dish broke, yes, but the sound of its fall, the quiet concern in the other room, the simple fact of being human in this moment of imperfection, these are not personal attacks. They are part of the shared human experience of life unfolding, sometimes messily. Difficulty is not a judgment directed solely at you. It is the texture of existence itself, touching everyone who walks this path. It belongs to the fabric of life, not to the isolated thread called me. When the argument happens at work, when the project fails, when illness comes, the question is not, why is this happening to me? But is this about me or about life? Try this simple practice. Feel the stress of a difficult conversation rise within you. Instead of letting the ego tighten around it, pause. Breathe softly. Ask yourself, gently, is this about me or about life? Notice the difference in your body. Does the tension ease just a little when you see the situation not as a personal indictment, but as a ripple in the shared water of human experience? The stress doesn't vanish, but its weight changes. It becomes a shared current you navigate together, not a solitary storm you must endure alone. You realize the person who angered you is also struggling with their own unseen burdens, their own sense of being broken. The relationship is not a battlefield between two separate selves, but a space where two threads of the same tapestry are momentarily tangled. Your anger, their frustration, these are not personal weapons, but expressions of the same human vulnerability. This is the quiet shift, the gentle release that happens when we stop seeing hardship as a personal attack. It dissolves the illusion of separation in the very moment we feel most alone. The kitchen remains quiet. The broken dish a small thing, but the space around it feels wider, softer. You feel the warmth of the shared breath, the common ground beneath your feet. You are not separate from the difficulty, you are part of its flow. The suffering lessens not because the situation changes, but because the heart that meets it changes, opening to the truth of interconnectedness. You see the shared human experience reflected in the broken dish, in the tired eyes across the table, in the simple fact of being here, together, in the midst of life's inevitable cracks. This brings us to the Zen practice of experiencing no separate self, as we carry the gentle understanding of our shared humanity deeper into the quiet space of daily life. We notice how the illusion of separation begins to soften. This is not a theory we hold on to, but the quiet, natural state when the ego dissolves into the flow of being. The river does not flow away from itself, it simply is the flow. So too, we discover that what we call self is not a fixed point apart from the world, but a temporary gathering of energy, like a ripple on a still pond. That ripple is not separate from the water, it is the water moving. In this moment, there is no me looking at you, only the gentle unfolding of connection. Consider the simple act of sharing a meal with another. A moment of frustration arises, a word spoken too quickly, a gesture misunderstood. In the past, this might have triggered a sharp sense of separation. They don't understand me, or they are causing me pain. But now, with a deeper awareness, we notice the tightness in the chest, the flicker of otherness. We pause, we breathe, and we see the other person not as a separate entity causing the discomfort, but as part of the same unfolding moment. Their frustration, their need for kindness, their own moment of being human, they are not out there, but part of the very fabric of this shared experience. The anger dissolves not because we ignore it, but because we recognize it as a shared human texture, not a personal attack. The separation was never real. It was a thought, a habit of the mind. In that recognition, the heart softens and the connection becomes palpable. A warm hum beneath the surface of the moment. This is the Zen practice of no separate self. It is not about becoming one with everyone in a grand, abstract way. It is about the immediate, ordinary experience of seeing that the one who feels hurt and the one who might have caused the hurt are both part of the same living, breathing reality. It is the quiet realization that our joy is the world's joy, our sorrow the world's sorrow. When the mind stops drawing lines between me and you, there is only the space where connection lives. This is not a new idea to grasp. It is the ground we have always stood on, obscured by the dust of our own stories. The practice is simply to see it clearly, again and again, in the smallest interactions. So, as you move through your day, notice the moments when the sense of separation flickers, when you feel alone in a crowd, or when a disagreement sparks a wall between you and another. Pause. Feel the breath. Ask gently, where is this separate self coming from? Is it truly separate? Or is it a temporary shape in the river of connection? See if you can rest in the knowing that the one who is hurt and the one who is seen are not two. They are the same water, the same air. This is not philosophy. It is the direct experience of the world as it is, when the ego's veil lifts just a little. In this quiet, natural state, relationships transform. They become not transactions between separate beings, but expressions of the interconnected heart. The difficulty of the moment is no longer a personal burden to carry alone. It is a shared thread in the fabric of life, holding us together rather than pulling us apart. This is the deep practice that reveals unity with all things, a direct experience of non-duality, not as a concept, but as the very air we breathe. Now, we will explore koans that challenge the very idea of self, inviting us to see beyond the illusion with even greater clarity. As we move beyond the gentle release from isolation described in the previous chapter, we find ourselves standing at the threshold of a deeper practice. The realization that hardship is shared texture, not personal indictment, and that the self is a temporary ripple in the river of connection, has prepared our hearts. Now, we turn our attention to the direct, embodied practice of living non-self. This is not merely an intellectual understanding, but a way of being that transforms how we move through each moment. The koan becomes our guide, not to provide an answer, but to dissolve the very ground upon which we stand as a separate I. Consider the famous koan. What is the sound of one hand clapping? We often approach this seeking an intellectual solution, searching for a clever phrase or a philosophical explanation. But the true practice lies in setting that search aside. Sit with the question not as a puzzle to solve, but as a gentle invitation to rest in the space before thought arises. Let the question hang in the air, unanswerable, without grasping for a solution. Allow the mind's habitual clinging to its own concept of me to loosen its grip. Feel the familiar boundary of I begin to soften, not through force, but simply by resting in the question's emptiness. The koan does not offer an answer. It reveals the emptiness of the very questioner. In that space of not knowing, the illusion of a separate, solid self begins to dissolve, not into nothingness, but into the clear awareness of interconnected presence. Imagine a quiet garden in the late afternoon. A practitioner sits on a simple bench, not seeking an answer to the koan, but simply allowing the question to be it. The rustle of leaves, the scent of earth after rain, the distant sound of a bird, all arise within the space of the question. There is no me separate from the leaves or the scent. No. Trying to grasp the answer, the question becomes a mirror reflecting the emptiness of the self, revealing that the I is not a fixed entity, but a momentary confluence of awareness, sensation, and thought. This is not a moment of loss, but a profound opening. The warmth of the sun on the skin, the simple act of breathing, these are not experiences owned by a separate self, but expressions of the whole. This is the practice we bring to ordinary life. When frustration arises in a traffic jam, instead of thinking I'm stuck, simply sit with the sensation of tightness in the chest and the sound of horns. Let the thought I'm annoyed arise and pass without adding the story of me being wronged. When preparing tea, feel the weight of the pot, the steam rising, without the constant commentary of my tea, my ritual. In the shared moment of kindness with a stranger, Feel the warmth without needing to claim it as my act of generosity. The koan practice here is to rest in the direct experience of the moment without the filter of a separate self. The I dissolves not through effort, but through the simple, patient willingness to let the question be, to be present without the need to define the experiencer. In this embodied practice, the distinction between the koan in the meditation hall and the koan of the traffic jam or the teacup dissolves. We are not seeking a special state. We are simply learning to rest in the natural flow of experience, free from the heavy burden of a separate self. The koan sound, like the sound of one hand clapping, is not found outside. It is the sound of the mind's own grasp dissolving. This deepening of non-self practice is the natural ground from which we step into embracing impermanence, seeing how all things arise and pass within the boundless, empty field of awareness. Imagine the flame of a candle as you breathe in and out. It flickers, changes shape with every gentle breath, never the same moment to the next. This is the self we experience, not a fixed point, but a flowing current. When we cling to the idea of a permanent, separate self, we resist the natural movement of life. We tighten against change, creating suffering where there need be none. Accepting impermanence isn't passive resignation. It is the gentle release of resistance. It is feeling the warmth of the sun on your skin, knowing it will shift, and simply being present with that warmth without grasping for it to stay. This acceptance dissolves the struggle, opening space for peace. Consider the simple act of drinking tea. The steam rises, coolness meets the cup. The taste shifts as the tea cools. In this ordinary moment, notice how your body feels different now than a minute ago. Your posture might be softer, your breath a little deeper. Notice thoughts arising like clouds passing through the sky of your mind, seeing them, acknowledging them, and letting them go without needing to hold on to the shape they take. This is not a distant philosophy. It is the direct, felt experience of impermanence happening right here, right now. The self we think we are is not a statue, but a dance of breath, sensation, and thought, constantly unfolding. So take this simple practice into your day. As you walk, feel the shift of weight from one foot to the next, the subtle changes in your posture. When a sound reaches your ears, notice how it arises, lingers for a moment, and fades away, leaving space for the next sound. When a feeling of frustration arises, pause and feel the physical sensation in your body, tightness in the chest, warmth in the face, and observe it change, not as something to fix, but as part of the natural flow. This noticing is not about analyzing, it is about resting in the awareness of change itself. It is the quiet, steady gaze of mindfulness observing the river of experience without trying to hold a single drop still. you might find that the more you notice these small shifts, the less you fight against the inevitable changes in your life. The resistance dissolves, not because things become easier, but because you stop creating a separate, struggling self against them. The suffering that comes from this should not be fades when you simply see this is. The body feels lighter. The mind feels more spacious because you are no longer resisting the very nature of being. This is the living truth of non-self. It is not something you think about, but something you embody in the very way you meet each moment. You meet the changing breath, the shifting sensation, the passing thought, not as an event happening to a separate you, but as the natural, unbroken flow of life itself. Non-self isn't just a concept. It's lived through mindful action. Imagine the ordinary act of washing a dish. The warm water flows over your hands. The soft cloth glides across the bowl. The gentle rhythm of cleaning unfolds. Now, try to notice if there is a separate I standing apart, watching the action as if it belongs to a distinct self. Is there a voice saying, "I am washing this dish"? Or does the action simply happen, as naturally as water flows downhill? This is the heart of non-self in daily life. Not a concept to be grasped, but a way of being that emerges when we stop insisting on a separate doer. When you wash the dish, the action doesn't come from a fixed you directing it. Instead, the movement of your hands, the attention to the soapy water, the awareness of the bowl's shape, all arise together in the moment. The action happens through you, like a river flowing through a valley. The valley isn't separate from the river. The river is the valley's natural expression. Similarly, your body, your attention, the task itself are not separate entities but a single, unfolding flow of activity. There is no I doing the washing. There is only the washing happening, fully and completely, right here. This is the practice of non-self, not confined to a cushion. It is the gentle shift that occurs when you notice the I dissolving in the very act of living. As you stir your tea, the stirring happens. As you walk to the mailbox, the walking happens. As you speak a word, the speaking happens. The sense of a separate self, the one that feels it must own the action or claim credit, begins to soften. It doesn't vanish entirely, but its grip loosens. You feel the spacious awareness of SC10, SC1, the calm presence where the separate I is no longer the center. You feel the warmth of SC10, SC2, accepting the flow of sensation in your hands as part of the natural current of life itself. So, as you go about your next small task, perhaps making your morning cup of tea or stepping outside, try this simple shift. Feel the water on your skin as you wash your hands. Notice the sensation without needing to label it mine. Let the action of holding the cup, of pouring the water, happen without the constant inner commentary, I am doing this. The cup is held, the water flows, the moment is complete. There is no need to find the doer, because the doer was never truly there in the first place. The practice is simply to rest in the action, to be the river flowing, not the river thinking it is separate from the valley. This mindful action is not about perfect stillness or emptying the mind. It is about living fully within the flow, without resistance, without the need to cling to a separate identity. It is the deepening of the spacious awareness you began to feel in resting with the koan. It is the gentle acceptance of impermanence becoming the very texture of your daily life. As you feel this flow in the simple act of washing a dish, you step beyond the need for an I. You step into the living truth of non-self, where every action, every breath, is simply life living itself. This is where the path truly takes root, and where the quiet, unshakable peace of living without ego attachment begins to unfold. Living without ego attachment is the culmination of this path. As we continue this journey along the flowing current of life, notice how the gentle acceptance of impermanence we explored in the last chapter naturally dissolves the need to cling. The self, that ever-shifting river of sensation, thought, and breath, finds no fixed point to grasp. This is not about losing ourselves, but about releasing the illusion of a separate, permanent self that creates separation and conflict. When we believe in a solid I that must protect, control, or prove itself, we generate suffering. Fear becomes the driver, and every interaction carries the potential for friction. True peace, however, arises not from the absence of action, but from the clarity and compassion that flow when the ego's grip loosens. Consider a simple moment, preparing tea for someone. In the grip of ego, you might worry intensely about the temperature, the perfect leaf, how it looks to the other person, perhaps even feeling slighted if it isn't praised. The action becomes burdened with the need for validation or control. But when the sense of a separate I dissolves, the action flows naturally. You simply notice the water, the leaves, the warmth in your hands. You pour with care, not for an outcome, but because pouring tea is the natural expression of presence in that moment. There is no me behind the action, only the action itself, done with attention and care. The other person receives the tea, and the interaction is light, unburdened by hidden agendas or expectations. This is the natural state of being action without the shadow of the doer. This is where the practice meets the everyday. In your next choice, however small, pause. Before you speak, act, or even react, take that single breath. Then ask gently within, is this decision arising from a place of fear, a need to protect the ego, to be right, or to gain something? Or is it arising from a deeper place of clarity, from understanding what is needed right now, from a heart that wishes to serve or connect? This question isn't about judgment, it's about gentle inquiry. It's the simple act of turning attention inward to discover the source of the impulse. When you notice the subtle pull of me, the desire to be seen, to avoid discomfort, to win, you can choose a different path. You can choose the path of wisdom, which is always the path of compassion, the path of ease. It requires no grand effort, only this momentary pause and the willingness to see clearly. This is not a state you achieve through force, but a natural unfolding when you stop fighting the flow. It is the release of the constant, exhausting labor of maintaining a separate self. When you act without the underlying fear of the ego, you move with the natural current of life, responding with ease and grace. You no longer see conflict as something to be won, but as a signal to return to clarity. You simply act, clearly, compassionately, and without the heavy weight of I and mine. This is the natural state of non-self, your true home.